Hello. Yeah, you're welcome to the channel of Least Effect. Today we are looking at loan amortization. Loan amortization is actually a payment plan that usually outlines how a loan rendering individual or a facility would outline the payment for the borrower to be able to settle their debt. So this evening, I have a question actually for us to look that we can get to good terms with most of the concepts that are actually applied in loan amortization. So we are starting off with the questions straight away, no time to waste. Okay, so here is the question. Mr. Abaka procured a loan facility of 100,000 Ghana from his lecturer to set up a butter processing company. Interest on this loan is compounded quarterly at an interest rate of 30% for a duration of 5 years. Part of the criteria that qualified Mr. Avoka to have been awarded such loan contract was to pay the loan on equal months, equal installments over the 5-year period. Imagine yourself as the financial manager of Mr. Avoka's lecturer. Draw up an amortization schedule for Mr. Avoka. Outline how the payment is going to be made. Thank you. So that was the question. So we're going to look at, if I were going to solve this manually, this is what you need to take note of. Payment is done at the end of each year. It's compounded quarterly. That's the number of, that is the nature of the compounding. So quarterly would mean that if you're familiar with the space of loan interest and then its calculation, quarterly would mean that somewhere M is equal to 4. Later I would explain that. That is that. Then since payment is done at the end of each year and then we are doing equal payment installment, it will mean that we need an annuity, and then of course it is the ordinary annuity since payment is done at the end of the year. And then in this case, we are having the 100,000 Ghana cedis value, which is a future value, and then has been discounted. Which is a present value, which would have been discounted from what a future value to become the 100,000 Ghana cedis. So we need to actually use the formula for the present value into ordinary annuity to be able to arrive at the equal payment that Avoka is going to be making. And then if we had used that using this is the whole formula, then this was going to be the amount that we would come up with, 9,809.22 Ghana cedis. So this is actually what Mr. Avoka will be paying each period over the 5 years to be able to settle his indebtedness to the lecturer. Okay, so let's go to the table and then see how with Excel that can be conveniently, quickly, and in a more pleasant way would have been made. Okay, so from the questions, we need these parameters. Payment, we need the frequency, that's the nature of compounding. We need the rate, which was 30%. So when you convert it to decimal fraction, you're getting 0.3. The nature of compounding was 4. That's the quarterly. Number of periods would be the nature of compounding, which is 4 times the duration, which is 5. Then we are getting 20 periods. That means we're going to pay this 20 times. The 9,809.2. Yeah, that's what the person is going to be paying. Then we need to get the equivalent periodic rate, which is usually obtained by dividing then the rate by the nature of compounding. Then we are getting 0.07. Then we have our loan facility. Then what is now left here is to calculate our payment. To do that, we have payment. We need to have equal to, then we have payment PMT. Sorry, PMT bracket open. Then we need the rate, which is this one. That's the equivalent periodic rate. We'll select that. Then we have comma. Then how many times is the person going to pay it? That's 20 times. That's the number of periods. Then you have the present value. Then you would have finished with the parameter as well as feature value, but in this case we don't have feature value, so that's not applicable to us. Now, Excel normally calculates this and gives you a negative value. So to avoid the negative, you put negative in front of the whole formula. Then you hit enter. So when you hit enter, this is what you are getting. Okay, so now that we have been able to get our payment, then we can fill up this whole table. I think that will be the filling. I need to take all these values and then take you through the process so that you can get to know how things were done. Okay, now let's go. So we are starting with beginning balance for period one, which is usually equivalent to the loan facility. In that case, I guess come and copy my 100,000 here. Then I hit enter. I've gotten my beginning balance for this one. Okay, so interest for period one will be equals to, or interest is usually equals to the periodic rate. That's this one times the beginning balance. Times the beginning balance. Then you have this. But then, since that is going to, we are going to be having that one be multiplying each of the balances in the subsequent period, we can look up that value so that using absolute referencing in Excel, so that usually when we do it in subsequent cells, it can go in and pick the 0.075, then it multiplies by the correspondent balances for that particular year. You hit enter, then you're getting this value. Now, total balance is usually equals to the beginning balance plus the interest. Sorry. Then you can get this. Okay, then installment. Installment is the equal to payment, which is in this case equal to, then we copy this value, then hit enter. Okay, so actually this one is just going to be the same throughout for the period one up to period 20. So in that case, I need to lock this cell as well using absolute referencing. Then you lock both the column and the row. Then you hit this. Okay. Now, principal repayment. Principal repayment in this case is actually the balance after you have subtracted the interest from the installment. Whatever amount that is not left is what we call the principal repayment. And usually it's used to offset or reduce the amount in terms of that principal that you are owing to the lender. So in that case, we need to get we need to perform the operation to be able to get that amount. So you have this minus this, then you can hit enter, and then that is that. So this is actually what you're going to use to reduce the your owings in terms of the principal to the person or the lender in this case. Then your ending balance is always equals to the beginning balance minus the principal repayment. Then you hit enter, then you get that. Well, I think we are through. Then the ending balance for a previous period becomes the beginning balance for the next period. So it simply means, what it simply means is that this one becomes the value for this one as the beginning balance. Then you have that. Okay, I think I can drag this across, then I'm able to, I can drag this across, I can drag this across as well. I can drag this across. I can drag this across. I can drag this across. Okay, everything is working. So I guess come and select everything here. Great, up to this point. Then I drag everything across. Then I am supposed to get it right. Okay, then I have it here. Okay, I've actually exceeded by 1. So what I need to do is do this, then I can get rid of the exceeded cell. Then I can hit delete. Okay. Now, if you want to know whether what you have just done is right, you can check the last value here to be sure that it is 0 points or it is 0, and then exactly what we are having here. Another way you can do that is to be, just summing up the principal repayment, or to see if indeed you get the principal or the loan facility. In this case, which is 100,000 Ghana cedis. Then you have sum, then you can start from here. What is happening? Sum. Great. I'll pick everything. Then hit enter. Oh, 100,000. Voila. I've gotten it. And then that is it basically about loan amortization, and then using Excel to do it in a very quicker, more pleasant way. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and then we'll be able to also do one for yourself. See you in subsequent videos. Bye.